I do house calls with celebrities all over the country, bro. You hear me? Who are blessed like you. And sometimes it takes for somebody to come in and just speak a little life into them. That's why I'm here. He did this today because he loves you and cares about you, bro. But he's tired of you throwing your life away at 16, little bro. You got a big future ahead of you, bro. And if you don't turn this corner right now today, your future ain't gonna be the same tomorrow. That I can promise you. Go ahead.
I want you to look at my face. And look at my eyes, right? And see, do I give a fuck? No. I'm gonna fuck what you're talking about. I built this shit, I did this shit. I'm gonna fuck, I'm in it. It's a lifestyle. Yeah.
Good evening, unemployed people. Just like I said in the title, Rakai is one of the most talked about young streamers on the internet right now. Not because of his talent, if he even has one, but because of how disrespectful he has been in almost every situation he's found himself in lately. At only 16 years old, he's already built a reputation for being chaotic, reckless, and constantly testing the limits of what people around him will tolerate. While his rise was incredibly fast thanks to his close connection with Kai Cenat, his attitude has caused endless problems. And for many viewers, it seems like his entire brand is based on being disrespectful or doing and saying some crazy ass shit.
Hey, Rakai. Hold on,
Rakai, you gotta chill, bro.
What you keep doing with his daughter, bro? That's his daughter, man.
No, it's a sir. We're not, yo, bro, she 20.
Kev.
I'll be honest
Put a shirt on, bro.
That's the first time I almost.
Put a shirt on, bro. Chill.
You hear me? Won't you tell me what the f she is?
Rakai comes from Syracuse, New York, and only started gaining attention because of how closely he was tied to Kai Cenat and AMP. He was positioned as part of the AMPG League, which is basically the younger version of Kai's group. Almost immediately, people noticed that his energy, voice, and mannerisms felt like a direct copy of Kai's, which is why some viewers called him Kai's clone or Kai's minion. But unlike Kai, who had spent years building a career and learning how to balance chaos with control, Rakai had none of that experience. Instead, his content leaned heavily into trolling, ignorance, and trying to shock audiences into sharing his clips. Like, before I got unemployed, I didn't watch much content about streamers at all because I had a life, but after I got unemployed, I went down this rabbit hole of cappuccino, ballerina, tra-la-la, and sooner or later, I was watching streamers, and this was my first ever clip of Rakai.
Brain, bro. Don't do that shit.
Stop fucking.
No. That I swear to God, I stole a lip. You stole something too?
Literally, that is what they were laughing at. It's because I said I got a whiff of his musk under his armpit.
Did you sing? No, nigga, no. Don't try to do that sad method and try to look sad and shit, nigga. Brain.
I swear, man, this kid, guys, don't ever embarrass your fellow man in front of a lady like that. That shit is not cool. If Dabo really stank personality of his works at first because Twitch in 2025 has become more about short viral clips than about long streams. But it also means that Rakai's main tool for growth is being outrageous, which quickly turns into being flat out disrespectful. The disrespect became even more visible during Kai Cenat's recent massive subathon, which is one of the biggest streaming events of the year so far. Instead of treating the event with respect, Rakai caused some serious problems. He started trolling Dez, another personality tied to the group, who was trying to survive 30 days without smoking.
You really think if you vaping, bro, that's not okay, bro. Stop vaping. Bro. He just showed me recent videos you vaping, man. Stop doing that shit, man. Because you want to go and troll him, and the whole time you vaping on the low.
I troll him too much.
You troll him the whole time he got videos you vaping on the low.
You know how those people are during withdrawal. They need their own space. But Rakai didn't give a fuck about that and decided to troll him. The trolling escalated into a serious argument, with threats being made and slurs being thrown around, all in front of hundreds of thousands of live viewers.
Change your code. Yo, hold on. Yo. Stop.
The problem wasn't just that Rakai was being childish, but that he was being childish during someone else's professional event, putting Kai in an awkward position where his closest circle was fighting publicly. For many people, this was the first time they saw how little respect Rakai had for other creators, even those who gave him the platform he was standing on. He wasn't just trolling anymore. He was embarrassing Kai in front of his entire audience.
But as usual, Kai defended him, saying he's just 16 years old. He's a kid.
Come on! He's 16! This nigga's a kid. He's a kid. He's a kid.
Every crazy thing that Rakai does, his age gets brought up as an excuse. But there are plenty of 16-year-olds who are not like that. Even Kai and iShow Speed were 16 once, and they weren't like that. This whole idea that if someone is young and does some crazy shit, they're automatically allowed to avoid accountability because of their age is killing society. At 16, we all know what's good or bad, and the fact that the people around Rakai keep tolerating his behavior will be bad for him as he grows up. People are even saying Rakai looks like the type of kid who has never been punished his entire life. He might turn into a Blackjack Doherty or something.
Go.
What? Little prop, what you gonna do? What you gonna do, little prop? Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, man. Damn.
But the one thing I love about life is it always has a way of driving some sense into people's heads. What I don't like is the fact that we have to wait for someone to learn the hard way and lose everything when it can be prevented. The Overtime Megan incident pushed his spoiled persona even further. On stream, Rakai decided to bring up Megan's leaked content as a joke, despite the fact that it was private and inappropriate for him to talk about, especially given his age.
Overtime Meg! Overtime Megan? You ain't see that leak? That was crazy!
He's a wild boy.
Yeah, that was crazy!
You could see the expression on Kai Cenat's face. It was not looking good. Megan clapped back publicly, making Rakai look immature and disrespectful not only toward her, but toward women in general. For someone trying to grow in the streaming world, starting drama with other influencers in this way was both short-sighted and disrespectful. Once again, Rakai seemed to think that making a shocking comment for a laugh was more important than showing respect to others, and his young age was used as an excuse for behavior that most people agreed was simply wrong. If there was one event that summed up Rakai's attitude perfectly, it was his time at Streamer University, a program where younger creators were supposed to learn and build content. Instead of taking it seriously, Rakai treated it as a playground. The chaos reached new levels when he and others fired Orbeez at people, with one incident injuring a girl in the eye. What was supposed to be content quickly turned into real harm, and Rakai showed no real accountability for it. There were also countless fights, pranks, and moments where he disrupted others, proving that his disrespect wasn't limited to teachers or women. It extended to everyone around him. By this point, his brand wasn't just chaotic fun. It was dangerous and irresponsible, and many fans began to wonder how long Kai would keep letting it slide. The most frustrating part of all of this is how every single controversy Rakai finds himself in seems to follow the exact same pattern. He crosses a line, gets punished, laughs it off, and then does the same thing again. His age is always brought up as a shield, as if being 16 automatically means he doesn't know what he's doing. But the reality is, Rakai knows exactly what he's doing. He knows that acting reckless and disrespectful gets him attention, and he knows that the people around him will defend him because he's young. This cycle is what has allowed him to continue acting the way he does, and it's also what makes him such a polarizing figure. For every viewer that laughs at his antics, there are just as many who see him as a spoiled kid throwing away opportunities that most people would kill for.
But those are not the only times Rakai has been disrespectful.
Oh no, we are not done. Another example came during his time in the classroom with Miss Amy, where his refusal to show even basic respect created one of the most infamous moments of his career so far. The incident started with something simple. Rakai and Toda showed up late for class, but instead of admitting it, he denied it over and over again.
Miss Amy. Miss Amy.
Miss Amy. Was that late? Yes or no?
Miss Amy. What time did they walk into your classroom? I was watching from my phone.
11:00.
No.
I know Holy Bible wasn't late. How you tell me?
Oh my gosh! I walked into the gym at 10:59.
I was not late. I
see
promise
Toda coming
you.
like this. Trying to tell Miss Amy.
Yeah, he came in late. I was on time.
When Miss Amy, who had been described as a patient and kind teacher, tried to correct him, Rakai kept arguing, making excuses, and refusing to listen. This guy literally had his hand on his dish and was pointing at Miss Amy, a grown woman, older or around the same age as his mother, while being spoken to. What could have been a small issue escalated because of his attitude. Miss Amy also said that he and Toda were throwing food at each other, disrupting the entire class, and making it impossible for her to continue teaching. The more people asked him to calm down, the more he doubled down, laughing and mocking instead of showing any understanding of the situation. The disrespect became so severe that Miss Amy, who had done nothing but try to guide him, nearly walked out of the room. She told Rakai it was either she left or he left, and instead of owning up to his mistakes and de-escalating the situation, Rakai walked out on Miss Amy and left the classroom.
Why was he getting in the classroom so much?
He had to go to the bathroom once, and then he was throwing food, and he wouldn't stop, and I had to stand between them, so I said, leave so we can get something done in peace. Because they were acting up today.
Why y'all giving Miss Amy a hard time?
I said, if you leave, it's either you leave or I leave, and he walked out.
This moment stuck with a lot of viewers because it highlighted something deeper than just trolling. Rakai wasn't just causing chaos for entertainment, he was showing a complete disregard for someone who was supposed to be an authority figure in his life. Teachers dedicate themselves to helping students, and the way he treated Miss Amy showed an attitude of entitlement and arrogance that felt out of control. He even cursed at Miss Amy. I'm not kidding.
Okay, that's enough. Oh, but it wasn't enough when...
I'm telling you,
but it wasn't enough when Dez and Punga and Reggie had to stop smoking. But it's enough for you without the phone.
Gosh,
it wasn't enough when you pissed off Miss Amy. It wasn't enough when you came late. It wasn't enough when you used lie. It wasn't enough when you write 500 times about accountability.
Guess what? Miss Amy.
Yeah, I said it.
Like, I wonder, Miss Amy was nothing but kind to him, so why treat her like that? I don't get it. Even when faced with consequences, like the threat of losing his PS5 and some streaming privileges, Rakai continued to laugh, joke, and act as though nothing was serious. Eventually, the console was smashed as a way of teaching him a lesson, but instead of taking it to heart, Rakai mocked the entire situation, proving once again that punishments had no lasting effect on him. This led directly into the so-called prison doctor intervention, which was another attempt to wake him up to the consequences of his actions. The interventionist was brought in to make Rakai understand that he was being given an opportunity that millions of other kids his age would dream of, but that he was throwing it away by constantly disrespecting everyone around him. The doctor's message was simple. Kai Cenat had handed him a platform, and without Kai, he would have nothing. He reminded Rakai that vaping in class, throwing food, cursing at teachers, and even calling Kai slurs in front of millions of viewers were all signs of someone who didn't respect the hand that was feeding him. In most cases, a lecture like this might make someone pause and think about their actions, but Rakai's response was to say, "I don't care, I built this lifestyle."
I want you to look at my face. Look at my eyes, right? And see, do I give a fuck? No. I'm gonna fuck what you're talking about. I built this shit, I did this shit. I'm gonna fuck, I'm in it. It's a lifestyle. Yeah.
Which showed how little gratitude he had for the position he was in. This was arguably the peak of his disrespect, because it wasn't just directed at teachers or peers anymore. It was aimed directly at Kai, the very person who gave him the chance to be in the spotlight. Without Kai, Rakai wouldn't have the audience, the opportunities, or the platform he now has. Yet instead of showing gratitude or respect, Rakai continued to bite the hand that fed him. By calling Kai names on stream, mocking him, and refusing to acknowledge how much he owed to him, Rakai proved that his disrespect wasn't just immaturity, it was becoming a defining part of his character. For viewers, this moment confirmed what many had suspected. Rakai wasn't just reckless, he was ungrateful.
The pattern became impossible to ignore.
No matter who tried to guide him, whether it was a teacher, a mentor, or Kai himself, Rakai responded with denial, mockery, or outright insults. He refused to hand over his phone when asked, he called authority figures names, and he treated every serious moment as a joke. Even when people around him tried to give him second chances, he found ways to turn it into another disrespectful moment. The consistency of this behavior made it clear that it wasn't just about being young or making mistakes. It was about a complete refusal to respect anyone else. What makes the whole situation even more frustrating is that Rakai does have potential. His energy, charisma, and ability to go viral are exactly what streaming audiences are drawn to. Even Kai has admitted countless times that he believes Rakai will be the biggest streamer.
I'm telling you right now, Rakai is going to be the biggest streamer in the world. He's going to be bigger than anybody you may know. I'm telling you, he's going to be the biggest streamer in the world. Before he does that and shit, nigga, I'm just trying to make sure he's on the right path in real life. I'm telling you, gang. Child, I'm telling you, he will. He's gonna be bigger than me. I'm telling you. He's gonna be bigger than anybody you may think is the biggest. I'm telling you, Chad. I'm telling you. But bro, his real life traits, it gotta change. I'm sorry, bro.
But that sounds like too much bootlicking. I don't think Rakai will ever top Aisho Speed or even Kai himself, especially with the direction he's heading. Maybe in another timeline, with more discipline and respect, he could have built a strong career as the next big name in streaming, but instead, his constant disrespect has overshadowed everything else. No matter how entertaining he might be, the conversation is always about the chaos, the fights, and the arrogance, rather than about his actual content. It's a waste of potential, and the only person to blame is Rakai himself.
But at just 16, he still has time to change, though the window is closing quickly. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more deep dives into the rise and fall of online creators, consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.